Well, thank you very much. They call it Super Tuesday for a reason.
They sure do. It looks like Donald Trump is a shoo-in for the nomination for the Republican Party. He'll be running for a second term against sleepy Joe Biden, which if anybody looks at the lineup there, he looks like he's shoo-in to become president of the United States. And this could be very good for Canada. Now, Nikki Haley is, she's thrown in the towel. Nikki Haley is exiting the 2024 race, clearing path for Trump's nomination. She had this to say after, well, this is her concession speech here.
I am filled with the gratitude for the outpouring of support we've received from all across our great country. But the time has now come to suspend my campaign.
It sure is. It sure is. And the support that she got from all of those Democrats out there, they were trying to keep her in the race. But we'll all joke about that. That's always going to be the joke about Nikki Haley and her Democrat run against the Republicans shoo-in candidate, how Trump steamrolled his way to the GOP nomination. Well, he did it before and he did it again this time around, just like the last time when he went down that golden escalator announcing that he was going to run for president. It wasn't really even a competition. He nailed that one. He snatched it up. And an interesting turn of events, the media went from loving him to absolutely hating him. And then we saw 4 years of his presidency, and how this is the most interesting part about Trump's presidency, in my view, is not Trump becoming president. It's the reaction to Trump becoming president from people who then went on to have Trump derangement syndrome, as we've heard about. Now, this is going to be good for Canada. And I say this because Trump did a lot of things. You may not like the way he talks about things or the way he expresses himself, but he actually was a good president. He brought no new military conflicts for the first time in I don't know how long in presidential history in the United States of America. And he also was very good with economies. He was very good with trade deals in particular, and this is where he's going to be good with Canada. And Canada is not doing so hot right now. And yes, it's not just because of Joe Biden and how bad things are in America because of him, but it's also because of our administration here in Canada under Justin Trudeau, the guy who balances the budgets balance themselves. Apparently, that's how his economic theory works. But Canadian businesses continue to contract as closures outpace startups. This is what we're seeing across the country, and it is not going to be the same when we see a new prime minister and if we see Donald Trump. Of course, this is what we saw with Trump, with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
Both got elected on a commitment to grow the middle class and help those working hard to join it, and that's exactly the kinds of things that we're going to stay focused on.
It's funny, they still have that message, by the way. We're going to grow the middle class. Has been shrinking because of Justin Trudeau. But here we go. I love this response.
Well, Justin, it's been really great, and I appreciate, Justin has agreed to cut all tariffs and all trade barriers between Canada and the United States. So I'm very happy about that.
So I'd say NAFTA's in good shape.
But we are.
Yeah, unfortunately, he didn't do any of that. And Trump did increase pressures, but he was largely successful with other countries and their trade deals. And we'll have probably better trade deals if we have another prime minister with a Donald Trump presidency with Pierre Poilievre.
President Biden is coming this week to visit Canada.
Of course, it's an old video.
As conservatives
11 months
very
ago.
Reasonable. They are simply to do what conservatives were able to do when we were in office. One, conservatives were able to get an end to the illegal softwood lumber tariffs the Americans had imposed within 3 months of Prime Minister Harper taking office. After Trudeau took office, the Americans slapped those tariffs back on our lumber. And they've been there ever since. Trudeau's since had 6 years, and he hasn't been able to do what Harper did in 3 months. We want an end to softwood lumber tariffs so that our forestry workers can get bigger, more powerful, inflation-proof paychecks. Two.
Well, unfortunately, before he goes on to two, unfortunately, there is no initiative on the part of Trudeau to end those tariffs, because he doesn't want a forestry industry in Canada. He wants to shut down the energy industry in Canada. We've seen when Donald Trump was president, his drill baby drill, his whole idea is to increase the energy capacity of North America, of America. And of course, he would be happy, I would assume, to be trading partners with domestic oil and gas here in Canada, as well as lumber. Perhaps not softwood lumber, but we might have to give up things like the dairy lobby in order to do. This is how negotiations work, ladies and gents. This is how it works. You need to give up some things, and you need to, if you want a better deal in the whole thing.
In the Harper era, we got an exemption to Buy America. President Obama allowed Canadian construction companies to deliver projects run by American states, even though he had Buy America rules against other countries. Trudeau's now had 8 years to get the same kind of exemption to Buy America, and he has failed. We want an end to Buy America so that our construction workers get powerful paychecks. 3, prior to Trudeau, we never had illegal migration in mass numbers at Roxham Road or anywhere else. We want an end to the illegal border crossings at Roxham Road and across the country. Again, something Conservatives were able to deliver. So these are reasonable things.
Well, and we all know what Donald Trump's idea of immigration is. That doesn't even need to be said here. Now, on the economy, because this is the most important thing, I think, for a lot of Canadians, and why this guy here, Pierre Poilievre, is largely popular and he's going to be getting in. Business people don't like Canada, not in its current shape, and this is not good for the average Canadian. It's not good for the average guy who wants to go get a job somewhere if people aren't creating these jobs, people aren't coming in with capital and investing in Canada. And why? Well, let's hear O'Leary break this down.
Canada has one of the best natural resource bases on Earth. It's one of the richest countries on Earth from a natural resource basis. It's managed by idiots.
Yep.
Trudeau is the worst prime minister ever put in power. Very successful politician, no executional skills. Hopefully, we will thank him for his service within the next 18 months. It's so important to Canada that he move on. And I mean no disrespect, but full disrespect. Very successful politician, incredibly weak manager.
So you argue he has not taken advantage of those resources. That's what that comes down to, right?
There's a lot of them.
It's much worse than that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let him manage a candy store.
All right, I'll put you down as a maybe on the Prime Minister for the time.
I'll put you down as a maybe, of course. But yeah, this is, of course, Pierre Poilievre with, we'll see a lot different story.
I do share Alberta's concern about Trudeau's anti-energy and anti-resource agenda. He has said that he wants to phase out our oil sands. He says that Southern Ontario should move away from manufacturing. He has attacked our mining sector. This is a deliberate, radical agenda by the costly coalition of the NDP and Justin Trudeau to shut down our resources and make us hopelessly dependent on foreign polluting dictatorships. Every time.
Don't forget the Bloc Québécois. They have also been part of this costly coalition that is largely keeping Trudeau in government. Now, a minority government never usually lasts this long. No, they don't. They usually only go a few years before it goes to an election's usually triggered from a vote of no confidence. But it's been Jagmeet Singh with his NDP and the Bloc Québécois keeping this government in place, even though they are a minority government. Canadians want to see an election. Are we going to see an election right around the time as the U.S. presidential election? I don't know. Is there going to be funny business in either the U.S. election or the Canadian election? I don't know. With Bill C-63, it looks like there might be. So only the future will tell on all of this. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about Trump becoming president of the United States. How will this affect Canada? Well, we see a Poilievre government coming in soon after. And how will that affect Canada? Leave a comment in the comment section down below, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on tracking.